Right, so before we actually get on with Journeys Interactive, I've seen some of the photos that we've posted on Facebook, and they're cracking me up.
Yes.
Will you tell us more about that, therefore?
Welcome to the interactive segment. It's time to hear from you. Please join us on social media, facebook.com/Joy News on TV, on Twitter @Joy News on TV, and our WhatsApp number is 05608000000. Don't forget to add your name and location. We are understaffed. That is why it is so difficult to attend to emergency cases. Those were the words of the Ridge Hospital Medical Director, Dr. Thomas Anaba, on Joy Super Morning Show this morning, and he was speaking in response to the story of a woman who found another woman in distress on the streets of Accra and rushed her to the Ridge Hospital. And this Good Samaritan was not at all pleased with the level of service at the hospital. For her, the matter was not treated with the urgency she thought she should be treated with, or the patient should be treated with. Now, the nurses, on the other hand, say the woman came in huffing and puffing rudely. And the story is actually on myjoyonline.com, but it's also generated quite a discussion, especially about how confident the public is in Ghana's healthcare system. And Israel, this story we actually took yesterday on Monday.
It was on Monday actually.
Yeah.
We had that. So your other Efwa,
Yes.
Efwa Evans Chenry,
Yes.
she went out there to meet Made, and she spoke with her. And she was also at the hospital, and she spoke to the nurses. And yes, they were saying that, well, she came in huffing and puffing, and she couldn't be patient for them to take care of others. Because the medical staff were saying that they had some other patients they were attending to whose cases were more critical, and so they wanted to be done with that before they come to attend to this one. But this
now it's been a whole
didn't quite think.
back and forth between the hospital and
this morning when the doctor appeared on the Super Morning Show, he didn't do justice to the issues, because the people who called in and the people who sent messages were just on his case. They thought that he was defending the issue necessarily, especially when he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Because Made was there when it happened, and this doctor wasn't there.
So what are people saying on Facebook?
All right, so on Facebook, we posted, we're asking you, are you confident in the care you receive when you go to the hospital? Do you want to take what's on the public?
Okay, let's hit the streets first and see what you have to say there, and then we'll take your Facebook comments.
Not at all, because I had an experience when I went to the hospital at the pharmacy shop. The pharmacist gave me medicine, and not knowing when I got to meet, he had interchanged my medicine to somebody's medicine. So I had to bring it back for them to change it and give me another medicine. So that's what happens sometimes. I think it's negligence. And most of the time, I believe the confidence is not from the public hospitals. They don't have time for patients. They more treat patients. Instead of them to take time and do something, ask you what the problem is, to comfort you, if anything, they advise you. They rather mess up issues, and some don't even have the heart to entertain patients to see what really is happening to them. So to comfort you, if anything, they advise you. They rather mess up issues, and some don't even have the heart to entertain patients to see what really is happening to them. So I think they don't treat us well when we go to the hospital.
What do you think is the way forward?
I think they're also not happy with their, I'll say, service of condition. If they are motivated and treated well, I think they'll also change their attitude towards patients when they come to the hospital. Sure.
My brother's son had an accident, and he was taken to the Tamale Teaching Hospital about a year ago. And what happened was that there were certain charges that we realized that they were charged which were not going into the official records. For instance, he had a fracture. We went for an X-ray and just realized that it was an internal fracture. But then the doctors made his dad, who was not literate, to thumbprint on a form. And that form, it was later on we realized that it was they were requesting the consent of the dad for them to transfuse blood. They indicated that he needed the blood within 1 hour. They also indicated that he needed just 1 pint of the blood and some other things. But because his dad could not read, he also thumbprinted. It was later on that we realized it. But meanwhile, the child was not given that blood.
An incident where a sick person was ushered into the ward, yes, but instead of the nurse the person was in severe pain, but the nurse couldn't handle him well. She only told the patient to go and do the proceedings. Whilst in my opinion, I think the person should have been cared for.
I quite remember once a time we went to iron my mother-in-law. I took her to the Lekma hospital, and it was around 5:30 in the evening, and they say you should wait, the doctor will be coming. The old lady is having, I think, diabetes or so, BP and diabetes combined. So we waited about 5 hours. There's no doctor. And they say the doctor will be coming, and the one that is there, they have closed, so you should wait. Waited up to 11 o'clock, so we decided to leave the place. So we left and went to a different hospital. The second one too was La General Hospital. That it wasn't me, but my wife told me, and it was real.
And people had quite a number of stories to share with us, Israel. And I'm getting some stories on WhatsApp as well. But let's see what people are saying on Facebook.
On Facebook, Akambang Brook says, I'm not happy at all. Some of the nurses cannot read what is on the prescription form. In fact, the doctor's handwriting, too bad. All this coupled with shortage of essential drugs do not make us receive quality health care. And Halidu says, we're not happy at all because if you attend the hospital with health insurance, it has no use. Everything you have to buy before doctor can attend to you, so it has no use. Mohammed says, there are unqualified nurses who went through all the necessary procedures of the Nurses and Midwives Council, but because of leadership deficit in our country, they are still struggling for postings. These irregularities are drawing the country to the poorest among poor countries. Awudi says no, because the nurses we have in our hospital sometimes don't exercise patients, and some attend to their phones and laptops instead of patients.
All
so
right.
generally there's a consensus that they're not satisfied with the kind of service they get near the hospital.
On WhatsApp, this one says, good evening. In fact, the Ghana Health Service is understaffed and the few are not even treated well, especially in terms of salaries. Government should take a critical look at the Ghana Health Services affairs to ensure quality health care delivery. And this one is a message from Alex in Wa. This one says, the attitude and behavior of some healthcare providers, especially nurses, would rather aggravate your illness. I have been a witness to such unruliness and unprofessionalism from some nurses. There's no confidence left in our healthcare services. And this one is from Barima Kubaji in Jine. Edem, watching the show in Aflawo, says, we are fed up in this country. Why? Today, government, tomorrow, nurse, next, tomorrow, another person. Okay, and I'll take the final one on WhatsApp. It's from Martina, who says, if you are a nurse and cannot see doctor's handwriting, please ask. Our salary arrears also count. So that's from Martina, who I assume is a nurse. And of course, the issue of their salary arrears is also a very serious one. Yes. All right. So, okay, earlier on, I said Abraham Atta was back in the news, and here's why. Are you familiar with Rahim Banda? Well, he's a teenage actor here in Ghana. His father had a radio interview recently and said Rahim would have gotten the Beast of No Nation role if not for the color of Rahim's skin. According to music producer Dad Ahmed Banda, Rahim was auditioned twice for the role. Now, the story has been going around on Facebook, so we decided to share it. So let's see how it's doing, Israel. And that's the photo
right, so that's
of the two boys.
Of the two boys, Abraham Mata and Banda.
I like how they've taken this particular one of him, sort of posed and like,
It's like,
and he's like,
you took my role, and then it's like, me color role. All right, so let's get on. It's got in 34 shares. Brad Richie says, ha ha ha. You think the producers are like Ghanaians who are only interested in colored skinned people. No wonder ladies in the movie industry are all bleaching just to get roles. Oh, really? Brad Ritchie, you know that. Tyru says, I would rather see this as a wish expression. Anybody's son could have been Abraham, if not for something. Abraham was at the right place at the right time for the big right thing. So allow him to wish same for his son. And it's getting a few replies. Let me find out what's in there.
Are you sure you want to go through the replies?
Very sensible. Okay, I can't stop laughing. I just don't get it, bro. Why insults should always be popular reaction? You choose to be among... Okay, let's move on. Vicky says, is the rich always envy of the... Why is the rich always envy of the poor? Upon all the money you have, you still wish your son claims a poor boy's shine? Why some people are greedy like that? Abraham is really turning some heads upside down. Benjamin says, when grace and favor are at work, all protocol are put on hold. Besides, Bandex, your son has no talent when it comes to filmmaking. Stop misleading your son. Allow him to pursue his own dream. Some things are not meant for the poor. Oh, really?
Okay, and there's nothing on WhatsApp about this particular issue. Everybody is talking about the hospital
treatment.
Yes, but it should be noted that Mr. Banda agrees that Abraham should be trained abroad and be made into a more versatile actor so that he can solicit for more roles. So that's what he's advocating for.
Come to think of it, I probably could have been a Will Smith, you know.
Israel, don't make me laugh.
Except for my color.
Except for your color. Oh, but you're not too far off.
What?
There's makeup.
No, he's fairer. Will
Yeah,
Smith
but
is
there's
fairer than
makeup.
me.
Have you seen all the makeup women do these days? It's called highlighting and contouring. And
Well, same way they could have used makeup for Van Dixon.
I think it would have been too much work for that. If he's doing some hot action scene and then you sweat all the dark makeup off. I mean,
well,
and it was more authentic because then he does resemble Amake Abebrese, who acted as his mother in the movie.
Anyway, I was just kidding.
All right, let's take our trending photo for today. Okay, it's something that the Black narrator put together. Let's have a look. And that's it on air right now. Israel.
This is a photo I was talking about.
This is a photo.
This photo, oh, Black narrator, he knows how to do it.
Big error.
Yep.
And the president has gone to take the cane himself, and it's like, what is this?
I'm gonna whip you. Yeah, so we're wondering who's the guy with the a paper bag
we all
over his
don't
head.
know. Maybe it's the information services director.
Acting director.
Since he took the fall for it.
Yeah.
But who is the woman? Oh, the woman is the ISD woman.
Nancy, head of operations.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay,
that's
I see.
cool.
So that's the trending photo. It's been going around as
Black
well.
narrator,
What have people been saying about this
comments
photo?
that have come in. Sheikh Abbas says, your own people started removing your name from the presidency of the country. The next era will be Nana Akufo-Addo, the president of Ghana law. And then Elvis says, President Muhammad, do you fear that Standowe guy?
Oh,
And a bunch of lazy people. The only thing you know best, create, loot, and share. Your days are numbered. Akamban Cook says, why is Standowe still at the Flagstaff House? The next era is replace Muhammad with Nanado. Hey. Muhammad Ba says, next time you hear about him, he will be a presidential staffer at the presidency. Once you're under the umbrella, you do no wrong. Have you forgotten the Brazil duo who wept at the commission? Where are they now? This month's promotion is on the way. I prophesy. Oh, so this guy is assuming, he's just concluding that the ISD acting director is going to end up at the Flagstaff House. And then Nan Thomas says, this clearly tells you that President Mahama, your own people at the presidency are fed up with him. Anthony says, indeed, Ghanaians are petty and not serious. You do so much and make capital out of an error.
Okay, so those are some comments on that photo, but a lot of comments on WhatsApp still coming in on the hospital issue, which means that this is
it's
really
a major issue.
It's a big thing. This one says, Israel, the authorities at Crystal Hospital Tema Community 8 must be watched and be mindful of unauthorized charges imposed on patients by staff, especially the dispensary. I was asked to pay 12 cedis for 2 sachets of Pericicum. This drug costs 2 Ghana cedis in all pharmacy shops. Okay, and then someone also says, I'm sad when people complain about the attitude of our nurses. The problem is now about 90 of nursing students are protocol. They know people in high places, so you can't discipline when they misbehave. They don't also learn because they know they'll pass through some way, somehow. Okay, so people are commenting a lot on this issue, but that's how we wrap up on the interactive segment of Joy News Prime. Enjoy the rest of your evening.